Eagle Theater of Creative Thought is both a studio for the production of artistic and creative work and a showplace for its dissemination and display. Back around Thanksgiving in 2005, as I was driving to the Love's gas station, at the corner of 6th and Evergreen, I saw to my amazement a white eagle sitting right there on the street in the intersection amongst a smattering of normal, ordinary birds that were scavenging for food. And I looked at the eagle and he looked at me. And it was as if he winked approvingly.
White eagle on the street in my town. No one believed me. How could it be? I'll figure it out now.
So that's where the White Eagle name comes from. It was around 2007, a couple years later. I'd written the song White Eagle, recorded it, one of several recordings that were to come. And it was a time of where my mind was particularly imaginative and fertile, brimming with ideas, rather manic kind of foray into uncharted territory.
Me, energy, mystery, memory.
And I conceived of it originally as a church. Back in the day, I used to preach quite a bit. And the White Eagle Church. And the few confidants I confided in didn't think that that was such a good idea. And then I switched it to a school, the White Eagle School of Creative Thought for the 21st century. And then it kind of morphed again. Because, you know, I've had enough of school, and a lot of negative connotations go along with a school. What I really want's a theater. So, White Eagle Theater of Creative Thought.
Beautiful is all around. Hide and seek, it can be found.
The whole time I was thinking about renting a place. The thought of buying a place, for whatever reason, mainly expense, had never entered my mind. And then it was in 2011, the church I am a member of but haven't gone for some time, the Red River Unitarian Universalist Church in Denison, Texas, bought a former funeral home and for the purpose of being their church home. And when I heard the price they got on that, which was pretty good, I thought, that's an idea. I could buy a place. A few days after that, the Red River Unitarian Church was given a church property in Denison, Texas. Evidently, the former owner gave it to them as some type of a tax break. And they put it up for auction. And they sent out an email, and I saw it, and at first sight I thought, oh my, this is it. This is the place. It was a beautiful church building built in 1909, former Catholic church. And I put in a bid. And I learned that I had won the bid. Actually, when I learned, I was in San Antonio, Texas, sitting on a wall in front of the Alamo. And that was quite something. It was quite a dramatic moment. The church building at 801 Owings in Denison, Texas, will be the site of the White Eagle Theater of Creative Thought.
Get your ticket to join the freak show. It could be fun now.
Initially, in my mind, it was kind of a solo endeavor with my sidekick and beautiful wife, Carolyn Q. But the more I thought about it, I thought it would be a great place for collaborative efforts and to get more input, the more the merrier, and the wider variety of creative works that we could display and take part in. And my good friend Stan Aloisi was interested, and I was glad that that was the case. He's not only a technician, but he's an artist, and he has an eye for detail, and he has a keen creative mind. I just am as pleased as punch that you know, he wants to work with us, and so that's very exciting. And he's manning the camera right now.
Hi, William. Stanley here.
Let it go, give a shout, take a chance, let it out.
So, we're looking to get this thing rolling, and initially, you know, I thought about the traditional approach of selling tickets and so forth, but the more and more I think of it, we're going to do it as an invitation-only type of thing, and invite friends who want to become members and build it from there. Well, we're fortunate to have a lot of good friends who are intelligent, creative, and fun people. A lot of artists, musicians, academics. We'd also like to make some inroads into the younger audience, the young cats, you know, because that's where the life and the energy is, and we don't want it to be an old folks club, if you know what I'm saying. The young cats.
You're a prince and you're a poet. Open your heart and then you'll know it. Oh. Open your heart now. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
In November of 2005, right prior to Thanksgiving, I was driving to one of Love's gas stations in Durant, Oklahoma. While at the intersection of Evergreen and 6th, I saw, much to my amazement, a white eagle in the middle of the street. The majestic bird was standing amongst several ordinary birds that were picking at debris on the street. I stopped my car, there was no other traffic at the time, and took a long, hard look at this incredible sight. The eagle, so it appeared, returned my gaze, and it was as if the eagle grinned and winked. In a sustained effort to understand and explain this vision, I sought information from friends, relatives, my therapists, fellow professors, naturalists, or people who know that kind of stuff, clergy, and assorted sages. Yet, no satisfactory answers were given. As it is said, understanding and wisdom are given to those that diligently seek them, and each person must ultimately discover these things on his own, just like in The Wizard of Oz. So it was that I eventually came to an understanding, in both a literal and symbolic sense, of my encounter with the white eagle. The literal explanation is rather ordinary, but the symbolic. Fortunate is the person who has been granted and sincerely participates in the creation of a story, or myth if you will, to explain oneself to oneself. The White Eagle Theater of Creative Thought, promoting creativity for fun, profit, and personal growth.
It's a new song. We had it all along. If you're feeling weak, oh man, if you're feeling strong, we can get it on. Oh yeah, we can sing along.
William Lloyd Creations. Relax, tune in, have fun.
I saw a white eagle on a street in my town. No one believed me, I couldn't